Alright, Steam Studio. Today we're going to talk about weaving. So I set up my loom here on the ground for us to see, and cats might also be coming into the picture at some point. So when you set up a loom, you need these up and down strings. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be coming in and out with the yarn that you're making your loom out of, or your weave out of. So you see how I'm coming out from behind of this first black screen. So first thing I want to do is go in front of it. So I'm picking up every other string as I go along. Cats love to be a part of weaving. So you can see how I'm going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out as I'm coming along my loom left. So I'm just going to show you a little bit on this loom, and then I'll show you how to make your own loom out of cardboard. So I just did those first ones, and now I'm pulling my string tight, and actually I have a little comb to tighten it down, and then I'm going to do the rest. By putting it into this needle of sorts, it makes it easier to go in and out instead of using my fingers. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Pulling it tight, pushing it down. There we go. Okay, so that's the basic weaving process, is that you have your up and down strings, which I think is your weft, and then you put your other yarn in and out, in and out, in and out, and that makes a basic weave. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make your own loom. That's pretty easy to do and cheap with materials. So we're just going to try weaving a little bookmark. So what I have is scissors, a pasta box, some thin yarn, and some thicker yarn. You could do it with fabric scraps too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut my cardboard. I just want this little side panel. I'm going to cut it open. I don't have to do a great job. And I'm going to cut it again because I just want this side piece. I'm going to try to weave a bookmark. Okay, I'm going to cut this top part off and this bottom part off. Okay, once I have my kind of long and thin bookmark, I'm going to make some little cuts down here. I'm going to try to put them about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch apart from each other. I'm going to do the same ones up here at the other end. So I'm just cutting little slits. That's what's going to hold my thin yarn in place as I weave. Okay. I'm going to take this little extra scrap of cardboard and I'm going to use that as my threader. I just cut like a little slit into it. Okay, so I have slits cut on both sides, and I'm going to take my thin yarn or string. If I can find the end of it, which is a good question. There it is. Okay, I'm just going to snug it into the cuts that I made. And I'm going to wrap it around. Until all of them are filled, or until my yarn gets a big knot. Oops, I got 2 of that one. Okay. Demonstrations. Okay, going around. Okay. Now I'm going to cut it. Now I have my strings wound around. And it should be snug in there. Okay. So now my loom is ready and I can start with my threading. So I'm going to take my little piece of cardboard, snug my yarn, big thick yarn into that slit. Okay, I'm going to cut some of this off just so I can tie it off first. Okay, so first I'm going to tie it onto this string, the first one, so that way it'll pull it out as I'm weaving. Okay, then I'm going to take my other end and I'm starting behind. So I'm going to start behind, in front, behind. See how I went every other string? That didn't work. Alright, try again. Make sure, hold on to your thread. Okay, I'm going behind, in front, behind. And then I'm pulling my yarn through. Okay, so I ended up in front, so this time I'm going back and I'm going behind the first one, behind the third one, behind the fifth one. My thing is not holding my yarn in very well here. Okay, I'm going to wrap it around. And behind and behind. I'm pulling through and I snug it down because I want my weave to be tight. You know what? I think my problem is that I put this in the front or the back instead of the front. Okay, so I started out from behind, so I'm going to go in front. Weaving's a slow process, guys. It takes a long time, so make sure you're being patient. So I'm just alternating which way I go. I have to see where my string was last time. And be gentle pulling it through. And eventually you fill up the whole bookmark like that. So I am going to pause while I fill that up and then I'll show you how to finish it. Okay, so when you have finished the whole length of your thing, or as far as you want to go. Okay, now I have cut it off the loom. I cut it on the back side where the weave wasn't, so I have my long black threads. And what I need to do is tie them off so they trap the yarn. So I'm just going to take 2 of the threads, we've wrapped them around, and make them into a knot. I'm going to double knot it so it stays put. Take my other threads, I had done 6 strings instead of 5, then I would have been able to do 2, 2, and 2, but I didn't. So now I've got 2 and 1 to knot together. And you can either cut those off after you knot them, or you can leave it as a fringe. And now you have a little woven bookmark or a little doll scarf, or you could do a longer one. If you do a fat one, you could do a little rug coaster for a mug or something. All right, there's your first weave. Take your time, enjoy the process.